At 03:17 a.m. local time, 400 nautical miles south of the Mexican coastline, the radar operator aboard the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Hamilton watched a new contact materialize on his scope, a single impossibly small blip moving at a determined 8 knots. The ship's AN/SPS-78 3D radar was straining to hold the faint return, classifying it as a vessel submersible low profile, the dreaded narco-submarine, a ghost in the vast midnight black expanse of the eastern Pacific. This isn't just a fiberglass go-fast boat. This 60-foot partially submerged hull is carrying a 10,000-pound payload of pure, uncut cocaine enough to generate over $150 million in street value. The Hamilton's commanding officer, Captain Miller, has only 9 minutes to intercept the VSLP before it crosses a crucial offshore demarcation line and scuttles itself, sinking its 5 tons of lethal cargo to the bottom, losing the evidence, the drugs, and the crew. If the LE-Det team misses their boarding window, not only will this mission fail, but the entire Operation Pacific Viper, designed to dismantle a multi-billion-dollar narco-terrorist network, will be compromised, sending a clear signal to the cartels that their submersibles are untouchable. But if they succeed, they will secure one of the largest drug busts in Coast Guard history. The margin of error is 0. Time remaining 9 minutes 14 seconds. The final sequence of events, which would result in over 100,000 pounds of cocaine being pulled from the sea, began nearly 2 weeks earlier. The Pacific Ocean, a theater of commerce and conflict that spans over 63 million square miles, is also the world's largest, darkest highway for transnational criminal organizations. For years, the cartels and their financial backers, now operating with the sophistication of a state-level adversary, have used this massive expanse to flood American streets with death and despair, funding a network of violence and corruption that reaches from the jungles of Colombia to the heartland of the United States. The challenge is immense. We're not fighting speedboats piloted by amateurs. We're fighting transnational criminal organizations, TCOs, that deploy multi-million-dollar, nearly invisible narco-submersibles and operate sophisticated intelligence networks to track our patrols. The stakes are nothing less than national security. Every 1/600 pounds of cocaine intercepted, the average daily haul of this mission, represents hundreds of lives saved, thousands of overdoses prevented, and a direct cut into the cartel's multi-billion-dollar war chest. This is why the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, launched Operation Pacific Viper, a critical aggressive surge in U.S. Coast Guard forces to deploy overwhelming combat power and re-establish maritime dominance in the Eastern Pacific. It is a mission of defense, an operation to secure the American homeland by taking the fight directly to the source. The question for every Coast Guard crew member, for every American watching, is whether we have the technological and strategic resolve to dismantle this deeply entrenched enemy before their poison reaches our shores. Don't look away, because what the U.S. Coast Guard did next sets a new standard for naval interdiction. The adversary in Operation Pacific Viper is not a nation-state, but a shadowy, ruthless financial hydra, the drug cartels whose motives are pure profit and whose strategies are built around evasion, speed, and deniability. The true threat isn't just the sheer quantity of the drugs. The 100,000 pounds of cocaine seized could net the cartels an estimated $1.8 billion at the wholesale level. The real danger is their tactical evolution. They moved beyond simple, highly visible go-fast boats to employing increasingly stealthy VSLPs, vessel submersible low profile, often referred to as narco-subs. These semi-submersibles are custom-built, typically 60 to 80 feet long, constructed from low-observable fiberglass or carbon fiber composites, and designed to ride with only a few feet of their hull and a low exhaust pipe above the waterline. This design slashes their radar cross-section RCS to that of a mere fishing buoy, making them nearly impossible to detect with standard surface radar past a few nautical miles. They navigate using encrypted satellite phones and commercial GPS, often running entirely dark in the dead of night or during periods of low visibility. Their tactical playbook is simple if intercepted. The crew activates internal scuttling valves, ensuring the cargo sinks quickly to extreme depths, eliminating all evidence and preventing the Coast Guard from securing a successful interdiction prosecution. The psychological threat is their confidence, the belief that the vast empty ocean is their shield, and that no American asset can sustain the pressure needed to choke off their supply lines. This operation was designed to shatter that belief with relentless data-driven force. The U.S. answer to the narco-submarine threat is a seamless, lethal, integrated warfare system built for maritime counterterrorism and interdiction. At the heart of the operation is the Legend-class national security cutter, NSC, the USCGC Hamilton. This 418-foot warship is a technological marvel, displacing 4,500 tons and powered by a combined diesel and gas turbine propulsion system that allows it to sprint at over 28 knots, ensuring it can chase down anything smaller than a destroyer. Its combat system is centered in the Combat Information Center (CIC), where operators utilize the powerful AN/SPS-78 3D radar coupled with advanced electro-optical infrared EOIR sensors to track the faintest contacts. But the true teeth of the NSC are in its air and surface assets. The aviation detachment deploys the MH-65 Dolphin or MH-60T Jayhawk helicopters, each equipped with sophisticated FLIR forward-looking infrared cameras that can cut through the darkness and sea clutter to visually identify a VSLP's low heat signature from miles away. The flight crews are specialists from the Hytron Helicopter Interdiction Tactical Squadron, a unit famed for its high-risk, low-level flights and the use of the M107 50-caliber precision rifle to disable vessel engines. Once a target is visually confirmed, the law enforcement detachment LED-ET, a team of highly trained, heavily armed Coast Guardsmen, is launched in high-speed, 30-foot, over-the-horizon OTH small boats. These boats are powered by twin 300-horsepower outboard engines capable of closing the gap in minutes, allowing the LED-ET to execute a hostile, non-compliant boarding, the critical high-stakes final step in the kill chain. Supporting this is the persistent Eye in the Sky, typically a U.S. Customs and Border Protection P-3 Orion or a U.S. Navy P-8 Poseidon flying overhead at 25,000 feet, relaying essential strategic intelligence back to the Hamilton's CIC via secure Link 16 data exchange. This is not a single ship hunting for a needle. It's a massive multi-domain surveillance and interdiction net built to eliminate all chance of escape. About 3:22 a.m. The tension in the Hamilton's CIC is a crushing weight. The VSLP contact designated Sierra 34 is now just 5.5 nautical miles out, maintaining its stealthy 8-knot speed. The tactical action officer, Lieutenant Commander Evans, gives the order, "Launch the bird." The MH-65 helicopter call sign Cutter 6505 is already spooling its twin turbo Mika aerial engines. 3 minutes later, the rotors bite the dark air and Cutter 6505 lifts off the flight deck. Its pilot, Lieutenant Commander Reyes, racing the sun to the contact point. Down on the surface, the lead-et team, led by Chief Petty Officer Barnes, is already in their OTH boat, a spray of seawater hitting their faces as they accelerate to 45 knots, the three-man assault team preparing their boarding grapples and weapons. The Coast Guard's kill chain is now fully active, and at 03:28 a.m. Cutter 6505 is overhead. Reyes' co-pilot instantly locks the FLIR on the target. Contact visual confirmed, black fiberglass hull, 3 feet freeboard, 2 crew visible in the cockpit. Scuttling ports open. The moment of truth has arrived. Next minute, the LED-ET boat, now a gray blur, is closing on the VSLP's starboard quarter. The crew on the narco-sub, realizing they've been compromised, begin aggressively opening the scuttling valves, water rushing into the cargo hold, a desperate final attempt to ditch the evidence. CPO Barnes shouts into his radio, "Non-compliant vessel boarding at 03:30. As the OTH boat pulls alongside, barely a foot from the fast-sinking submersible, CPO Barnes and his lead assault man execute a perfect explosive breach of the VSLP's main hatch. They enter a dark, confined space, the reek of diesel and sea salt thicken the air. The two cartel operators are immediately subdued and secured their plan to sink the load, defeated in under 60 seconds. The assault team's quick action seals the internal valves, stabilizing the VSLP just as its hull dips dangerously low in the water. The VSLP is saved, the 2 crew are captured, and the 10,000 pounds of cocaine are secured. This single brutal interdiction, repeated 34 times across the operational area, was the tactical linchpin of Operation Pacific Viper. The quiet that returned to the Eastern Pacific was the sound of a $473 million blow delivered directly to the heart of the cartel's power structure. The consequence of the 34 total interdictions during Operation Pacific Viper was a staggering haul of over 100,000 pounds of cocaine and other illegal drugs. The final spectacular display of this victory took place days later at Port Everglades, Florida, where the USCGC Hamilton offloaded a record-breaking 76,000 pounds of seized contraband. It was a massive mountain of individually wrapped compressed bales of cocaine stacked on the pier, a visual monument to the skill and relentless professionalism of the Coast Guard men and women. The haul was so large it required multiple forklifts and a dedicated security team to manage painting a clear, indisputable picture of America's maritime resolve. For the Coast Guard crews, like the sailors aboard the Hamilton, there was the quiet, profound satisfaction of seeing a dangerous and complex mission executed with textbook perfection. They had faced a foe with unlimited cash and state-of-the-art stealth technology, and had systematically exposed their vulnerabilities, demonstrating that no matter how deep, arc the ocean, no matter how stealthy the vessel, the American kill chain is unyielding. The price for the cartels was astronomical, not just in lost revenue, but in lost faith, the psychological fallout of their multi-million-dollar narco-subs being turned into Coast Guard trophies. The rhythm of the sea returned to normal, a temporary peace secured by overwhelming force. The success of Operation Pacific Viper and the seizure of the 100,000 pounds of deadly cargo is far more than a law enforcement victory. It is a profound lesson in global security and maritime dominance. It offers a warning to every adversary, whether they are drug-smuggling TCOs or state-sponsored aggressors. The lesson is that the United States possesses the technological superiority and, crucially, the coordinated doctrine to operate a perfectly integrated warfare system, capable of neutralizing threats across vast contested domains. The speed of the NSC, the precision of the Hytron helicopter, the lethal training of the LEDET, and the unblinking eye of the airborne surveillance platform all combined to create a net with zero gaps. The cartel's fatal mistake was believing that their financial resources could buy them immunity from the law, that their fiberglass submersibles could defeat America's multi-billion-dollar intelligence and sensor apparatus. The United States Coast Guard proved that technology is a neutral force. It is the will and the professional discipline to use it with surgical precision that determines victory. The larger message for the world and for every nation that relies on the freedom of the seas is this: the oceans will not be surrendered to lawlessness. Peace and security are not abstract ideals. They are assets that must be actively guarded, blockaded, and enforced by those who are willing to deploy overwhelming force to secure them. What does the relentless success of Operation Pacific Viper tell you about America's readiness to confront the next even greater challenge on the high seas? Let us know in the comments below.